Hello, this is Kyle. So, the Daleks. They've been there ever since Doctor Who first aired in 1963, and the whole phenomenon surrounding them is remarkable, really. It's like they've become something bigger than the show itself. You know, there's lots of people that have never seen Doctor Who, but they know what a Dalek is. So, with that in mind, these are my top 5 all-time favourite Dalek Doctor Who stories.
In fifth place, The Chase, a classic so bad it's good kind of story from 1965, where somehow the Daleks have their own equivalent to a TARDIS and decide to chase the Doctor through time and space. Like, how does that even work? But somehow in this story it does work. And they also managed to weave in the Empire State Building, Count Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Mary Celeste, and a robotic doppelganger of the Doctor. Once it gets going, The Chase is extremely entertaining to watch, and to top it all off, there's a very powerful departure scene with the original companions, Ian and Barbara. Who knew that Doctor Who was capable of such emotional drama in the 1960s? In fourth place, Dalek. It's easy to neglect the responsibility that this episode had, reintroducing the concept of a Dalek to a new audience in a new millennium. But it actually does more than this. Yes, the Dalek comes across as a serious threat. We get to see it killing and generally causing mayhem the way a Dalek should, best summed up by the Doctor's exchange with Van Statten when he asks if the Dalek will negotiate, and the Doctor responds with, "What's the nearest town?" Salt Lake City. Population, 1 million. All dead. But what Dalek also manages to do is really explore the relationship between the Doctor and the Daleks, and the effect that the Time War has had on both of them. There is that dramatic role reversal where for once the Dalek is powerless, and the Doctor, full of rage, attempts to kill it. We get to see the Doctor's own Dalek-like hatred in this story, which is also a major theme of the 2014 episode Into the Dalek, which had much the same message. In third place, Genesis of the Daleks. Yes, it had to be on the list somewhere. There is a reason why it is so popular after all. In terms of setup, this story is only really outdone by the 2008 epic, The Stolen Earth. It's just a shame that the second part of that story didn't really do that setup the justice it deserved. But in Genesis, the premise is basically that the Doctor is sent to the Daleks' home planet before they were created to prevent them from ever existing. If handled wrongly, this could have been a complete disaster, but Terry Nation treats the Daleks and the whole moral dilemma with great care. Davros makes his first and best appearance, and there is of course the famous Two Wires scene where the Doctor considers destroying the Dalek mutants and asks, "Do I have the right?" However, that scene is a bit of a cheat because the room gets destroyed anyway and the Daleks still survive, and that, combined with the heavy padding of the story, is what keeps it from a 5-star rating. In second place, Remembrance of the Daleks. At a time when Doctor Who was on its last legs and on the brink of cancellation, it still had the ability to produce some great stories, and this is one of them. The Doctor takes a nostalgic trip back to 1963 where he has unfinished business with the Daleks. If you can ignore the misspelling of Foreman on the gate and some worryingly wobbly Daleks, you're in for a treat. For one thing, McCoy is at his best here, and the character is given some sharp and witty lines throughout. Then there's his plan to mislead the Daleks into using the Hand of Omega in order to defeat them, which is classic Seventh Doctor scheming. The two factions of Daleks is an interesting idea that builds nicely on the ending of Revelation of the Daleks. Oh, and did I mention the explosions? Seriously, if you like seeing things being blown to pieces, you'll love this serial, and the Special Weapons Dalek is your new favourite Dalek. And in first place, it has to be Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways, the first finale of the new series and still the best. The Daleks are at their very strongest here, firstly by shaping the human race for hundreds of years behind the scenes, turning Earth into a dystopia where people play TV game shows to the death and are then harvested to create a new race of Daleks. Let's just look past the dated references to Weakest Link, Big Brother, etc. for a moment, because that is a brilliant and disturbing concept. But as soon as they emerge from hiding, we see the true power of the Daleks. They will kill everything on Earth. They will slaughter everyone on the game station. Nothing can stop them, and nothing will stop them. Soon the Doctor is the only one left alive, and if he chooses to destroy the Daleks, he will take all the humans with them. It's the same decision he had to make at the end of the Time War, but this is not hit over the audience's head, which is good. The Doctor decides he's done it before and cannot do it again. There is a sense the writers realised they'd created an impossible scenario and felt the need to give Rose godlike powers in order to save the day, but at least there is a cost, as the Doctor has to give up his life and regenerate to save her. Oh yeah, David Tennant appears at the end of this. With everything else going on, you almost kind of forget about that.
Thank you for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out my website and my Facebook page, and I'll see you next time.